Hey everyone, welcome to Alpha Insights. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Cassidy. Glad you're with us over the long weekend.
Quick heads up, markets were closed on Saturday, and our last trading reference is as of Friday, February 13th. The next session is Tuesday, February 17th. And hey, if you have questions while you're listening, drop them at stockalpha.ai.
On to the headlines. Policy and court developments over the weekend took some pressure off the cannabis sector. That matters because regulatory risk has been a big overhang for hemp producers and retail operators.
Right. The big policy move was a Republican-drafted Farm Bill draft that aims to loosen federal rules around industrial hemp. In plain English, if those provisions survive the amendment process, producers could see lower compliance costs and a clearer federal framework for hemp-derived products.
Exactly. That doesn't mean it's a done deal. Congress can change language and the timing matters. But a favorable Farm Bill pathway is the sort of policy catalyst that can turn uncertainty into a revenue story for some companies.
There were also tangible court and state-level wins. In Minnesota, an administrative judge struck down the state's ban on mailing hemp products, saying the law didn't actually specify shipping methods. And in Missouri, an attempt to ban intoxicating hemp products stalled after a long filibuster.
Those are the kind of operational fixes growers and retailers wanted. If you run an online hemp shop, shipping rules are everything. This removes an immediate obstacle in a couple of places, though it doesn't automatically legalize interstate shipping everywhere.
Good clarification. State rulings create precedents, but other states may have different outcomes. So expect more legal skirmishes, and follow-up rulings could either reinforce or limit the effect of Minnesota's decision.
On the marijuana side, Virginia's Senate moved an amended recreational sales bill forward and took out some of the harsher criminal penalties that had been added. Now the House and Senate need to reconcile their versions.
Which is a big deal for multi-state operators and retail-focused businesses. When a state actually sets up a sales framework, licenses, taxes, market access, that's where demand expansion becomes concrete. But the devil's in the details. Licensing caps, fee structures, tax rates, those decide who wins market share.
So, what should listeners be watching heading into Tuesday? First, any committee actions or amendment votes on the Farm Bill early next week. If hemp provisions survive intact, that's a headline that could shift sentiment. Second, the Virginia reconciliation process. Keep an eye on licensing and tax language.
And third, more regulatory rulings on interstate shipping. Minnesota's decision could spur challenges or clarifications in other states, which would ripple through distribution models and margins for hemp product lines.
From a market perspective, if you track sector flows, watch the MSOS Cannabis ETF as a proxy for sentiment. Also keep an eye on Tilray Brands for a company-level read, since it has both U.S. state exposure and international operations. Smaller and penny listings, including some Canadian ADRs, will likely be more volatile to headlines.
If you're thinking about positioning, consider selective exposure. Favor operators with solid compliance programs and clear scaling plans, because when regulation loosens, those companies can capture share faster. And read final regulatory text. The actual wording in the Farm Bill and Virginia's reconciled bill matters far more than the headlines.
One more angle, political signals matter too. Things like pardons or public moves on past convictions keep rescheduling and clemency conversations alive. That tends to influence sentiment more than immediate fundamentals, but it helps shape the policy environment.
So to wrap up, over the weekend, we saw federal and state-level developments that reduce regulatory risk for hemp and keep the path to state recreational sales open. Those are supportive developments, but they're not finished. Watch the text and watch the timelines.
Exactly. Keep MSOS and Tilray on your watch list for flow and policy sensitivity. Watch smaller names for headline-driven volatility. and pay close attention to Farm Bill amendments and Virginia's final language before making trades.
All right, that's it from us. Got questions? We'd love to hear from you. Head over to stockalpha.ai, where you can ask us anything and we'll answer live.
And while you're there, check out more market content and drop your cues so we can cover them next episode. Enjoy the long weekend, and we'll see you when markets reopen on Tuesday.